There we go. Where's everybody tonight already?
Did you see that? Did you see that he's sick, Yaakov?
I saw the email. Yeah. I should have refuah shalem. It's not a COVID, is it?
I don't know. I'm trying to find out. Naftali
Not
Salman.
much of difference.
Naftali Salman's brother-in-law is his son, so he's gonna find out for me.
Whatever it is, as long as you should have refuah shalem, regardless of what it is.
I'm in. But
we need it because we're not having a good week this week. We are not having a good week this week.
No.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot my Kitzur. You gotta be kidding. Oh man, hold on a second. Was there Kitzur here? Okay.
she's
All right, I can't find it. I'll have to find it on my iPad. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I cannot tell you how many kashrus shilas I got today because of the snow.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are home?
People are home making soups. If I tell you how many ladies, what?
Is this the first time that ever snowed?
They never saw their kitchen before.
No, I don't know. The men are in the kitchen, and I'm telling you how many ladies cut their onions with a fleshik knife.
I went to work today. My wife said, how come you can't ever stay home? I said, if you talk to me for 30 minutes today, I'll stay home. She said, go to work.
Yeah, let me tell you. It's really wild. It's wild. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Where we at? The end of Sif Dalet, right?
Would you rather that, Yaakov, or would you have Amaratzim like me asking you stupid shilas all day?
It's all good. It's all good. Simon, whatever I talk to you is fine. Or text.
Yaakov, you should have refuah shalem from. So when now that Simon is talking about him, 50 years ago, Rav Shadron came for his Shabbos to Far Rockaway, and he spoke in Young Israel Friday night. And I walked myself and Yidel Oliver Shalom walked him back to Rav Avram's house. That we invited Rav Avram invited us in. We had some tea after the drasha. And the first thing Rav Shadron asked him, he says, probably in Lashon Kodesh or Yiddish, he says, what's with that balcony in the Young Israel? It was like,
oh yeah, Taka?
Yeah, he did not like it, Rav Shadron. He did not like
it. I can imagine what he'd say about the white show. They're the Young Israel, not so bad. You have to turn around to see the ladies, no?
No, they're right in front of you. Straight directly to where the Rav speaks from.
Oh, for the Rav. I'm talking about for the Hamayinam.
For the Rav. Rav.
For the Hamayinam.
He stood in front of the shul, but when he made his drasha Friday night. Yeah, for the Hamayinam, you're 100% right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's go. Okay, so where do we get up to? I think we did thinking and learning in the bathroom, right? Did we do that last week? Wasn't that long ago? We did it on Wednesday night. It wasn't that long ago. It was Wednesday night. It wasn't exactly. It wasn't Monday night. We should remember that.
The middle of Vav marked down.
Middle of Vav?
No. Yeah.
Can't. No.
I could be wrong, but
we didn't. I don't think we discussed.
No, we
cleaning
hey, we didn't say hey. No.
We didn't do hay.
We didn't do hay. No.
Then my marker's on the wrong spot.
All right.
Well,
maybe that was the last time you did it.
Yeah. That was your last cycle.
Right, so you should know it.
Sure.
You have it marked off already.
No, bring it up.
Yeah.
Bring it
Okay.
No, bring it up.
Fine. So, because Grada came across a Gemara this morning where a Tana or an Amoira said he thought a pshat in the bathroom. The Gemara asks, what do you mean? How could you think in the bathroom? He's a Einus. He was an Einus. He was holding in a sugi. He went to the bathroom. He's an Einus. You could have Einus. Now that's which also tonight's stuff with being Einus.
Shalolishma was Shalolishma.
It was. I don't know. I don't know how you write. I don't know if it's Shalolishma. Very good. Anyway, so Sif Hey, yeah, Yizar. The Kanei Chasatzma Yafa. You have to be careful to clean yourself very well. Kim Yeshle Afilu Mashu Tzoya B'Pia Tabas. Even if you have a mashu of tzoya excrement by the Pia Tabas, that's where you know where you go to the bathroom from. Also, shum davar shebekdusha, then it's also to say any davar shebekdusha. Right now, this can lead to some serious OCD tendencies in people. Right, if you have the smallest little bit in the Pia Tabas. Right, so yeah. So
see, I mean, I don't want to be stupid. I mean, I don't know why I should stop now. But what about a makshahu? Like, it's not chametz on Pesach, you know, where it is. It's the same as chametz on Pesach. It's also b'mashahu.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. Mashu. Yeah, I don't know if it's it's not bottled. It's also not bottled. I guess right? It's not bottled in the goof, right? Yeah, but the shaila. Yeah, so the thing is like this. So the Stipler brings down in Krina Digger. So the Piskei Teshuvos brings it. He says that if you're going to make yourself meshuga to keep wiping yourself and all that, it's yatzas chore b'fseida. And you're going to end up causing more bad than good. I mean, a lot of the Krina Diggers dealt with a lot of OCD tendencies of people that wrote him letters about what to do about their OCD tendencies. So he says, you don't make meshuga. You don't make meshuga with this. You clean to the extent that you can, and that's it.
I think I'd rather prefer people being OCD about that, right? Like
that's true, but you know, sometimes you really have guys that are OCD. And they make themselves nuts. They can't daven. They push it can't daven. They spend half the davening going back and forth to the bathroom. You know, it can get really crazy. Also,
maybe I just don't understand those tendencies, and I don't.
That could be.
Simon,
washing the hands and all that.
Simon, I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to give you even too many hints. Somebody in Far Rockaway, I didn't always daven him. When I did, he went to the bathroom 5 or 6 times. He went before Baruch Shama. He went before Baruch Hu. He went before Shemon Esra. He went before Kedusha. I'm telling you, he went 5, 6 times.
But that's because he wasn't clean, or that's because he had to go to the bathroom?
He probably thought he had to go to the bathroom. He was so worried. There's no way he had to go. He's a young man.
I had a doctor ask me once.
Does not have issues. He doesn't have physical issues.
Right.
Byron, I had a doctor ask me once about either it was one of my kids or a cousin or something. He says, he became yeshivish or whatever. He goes, is he going to the bathroom 3 times before he goes to daven? Like, just make sure, keep that in mind, that he's not going nuts and becoming OCD with these crazinesses.
This person is crazy. I mean, to me, it's crazy.
No, unfortunately, it is very common. It's very common in the yeshiva world, this thing. Now, also washing yourself with water, the place can say you should use water, not just tissues. But again, if it's clean, it ends up being clean. Or even saliva, they say you should use if you're not anywhere near water.
Is this a plug for dude wipes?
Maybe. Listen, whatever gets you clean, better. But it seems like
a bidet.
Right, a bidet, right? But the Zohar, the Piskei Teshuvos brings the Zohar. It seems like the Zohar is pretty much that makpid that you should use water to clean yourself after the bathroom. That dafka to use water. Okay, whatever it is. So, but the main reason you have to wipe yourself and clean yourself well is because then you can't say any davar shebekdusha.
Would this count, Yaakov?
I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's a single wipe.
Why not?
Peppermint flavored.
Peppermint flavored.
You have to make. Are you allowed to make a bayre mine psumim in the bathroom before you?
Not before you wipe. That's often not before you wipe.
Parrots, okay, parrots.
Dov, you're having a
This is
good
a new
time
one.
tonight, Dov, huh?
I heard parrots restaurants give out mint toothpicks. Maybe you got to open a restaurant, you give out mint wipes too in the base of Kisa. Okay, whatever.
In COVID era, you want peppermint wipes.
Okay. Anyways, okay, fine. Then, of course, this famous halacha. Lo yikanach b'yad yamin. You shouldn't wipe with your right hand. Because that's the hand you use to tefillin. Meaning, if you're a lefty and you're using your right hand, the tefillin slides through your right hand. Right? So therefore, you should not use your right hand to wipe yourself, and a lefty obviously should do the opposite. Right? And then on that reason, small. You should not use the middle finger of your left hand. Because that also has chashivas, right? Because you wrap the tefillin around the middle finger. On the lefty, right? He should do with his left hand. Right? So now, but the poskim say that this was back then when they didn't use tissues and they needed to use their fingers to clean themselves. Nowadays that you use tissues, many poskim say that this is not negayah. So that's another reason not to get OCD about these things, because you use tissues.
Not to dwell on duty talk, but didn't we learn in Gemara about like sharpened rocks or something like that?
Yes, right. That's what they used back. Right.
They weren't sharp, they were smooth.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying like
right.
say like a knife. You know, I'm saying like a.
Right. That was one of the Gemaras that you shouldn't use somebody
they shouldn't share them.
Rock. Shouldn't share them. Right.
COVID.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense to not use your left hand since you wear tefillin on your left hand?
No, so that's what it's saying. Your finger, what touches the tefillin?
But it says not use your right hand because you're wrapping it with your right hand.
If you analyze it, so your right hand, because you put on your tefillin, so it's constantly touching your right hand, the tefillin. Right, and on your left hand, it never touches the finger, and it never touches this finger or the pinky or the thumb, the tefillin, right? You're putting on your tefillin, so when you're wrapping it around like this, so it's constantly touching all 5 of your fingers of your right hand. And obviously, if you're a lefty, then it's the other way, right? But the tefillin never touches the finger, the thumb. I don't know what you call this one. The ring finger. That's a ring finger. Ring finger, and then the pinky, right? So, right, that the tefillin never touches those. So that's what it's saying. You can use any of those 4 to wipe, but not the middle one. So the middle one, not because the tefillin goes on it, and the whole right hand is because the tefillin, gets wrapped through it. So that's what it's saying. But okay, but you don't have to be nowadays that we have tissues.
Might touch your other hands when you take it out of the bag.
What?
When you take it out of your tefillin bag. I'm just saying,
I hear that. I hear that.
If it's just going according to touching, you might touch it when you're putting it on when you're taking it out.
So you're saying you should be makpid not to
wipe ever with either hand.
No, take out the tefillin with your right hand, which probably you should do anyways. Truth be told, we learned it last week or 2 weeks ago, right? That mitzvah should be done with the right hand.
We didn't talk specifically.
Right, you should hand over a sefer with the right hand. Tzedakah should be with the right hand. So l'chara, taking out your tefillin, it's a good point. You should l'chara, your tefillin should come with your right hand too. Right? That's you just reminded me about something else. So what about changing a baby's diaper? You have the same dinim? Or changing a baby's diaper?
I mean, maybe men shouldn't change diapers because of that.
Oh, now you're talking.
Talking like someone who doesn't have kids in diapers.
Yeah, listen. Now that you're Be'ez Hashem in the Parsha of Einakloch, you know what I mean? So watch out. Right? Yeah. So so that's the first shot. So changing diapers, l'chayra, you should also have the same halachas. Okay, obviously we change diapers with wipes. What do you say?
Well, if you're going so far, then you'd have to be before the baby eats solid food. You'd have no problem.
L'chayra, right? That's a good point, right? Because that's not considered.
It's not so you.
Right. That's.
I mean, so the same thing. What if you have a dog? Does that make a difference?
No, in a chanami, no, you're right. That's a good point. The dog also. Simon, what do you do?
I pay someone to pick it up.
That's the Eitzah. That is the Eitzah. Good answer, right? What about women? Do women have these halachas of wiping themselves, cleaning themselves? Or not? They don't put on tefillin.
Only if they put on tefillin.
Only if they put on, right. Okay, but assuming that they don't put on tefillin, would they keep these halachas or not? So some poskim say that they have to, and some poskim say that they don't have to. But lamaisa with tissues nowadays, with tissues, it's not they certainly could be making. Okay, weiter. B'chol pam shenifne, anytime you go to the bathroom, or urinate, vafilu rak tipa achas, even if it's one drop, yirchatz yoda b'mayim, you wash your hands with water, vivarich birchas hashayotza, and then you make the varach hashayotza. So again, a lot of yirchatz yoda b'mayim. He doesn't say you need a cup. He doesn't say you need to do it multiple times. He just says you have to wash your hands for nikiyas, right? So we already said that there are shitas, though. There are shitas. Mishnah Berurah brings a shita that holds that you should wash it b'serugin, 3 times after the bathroom, but doesn't say cup. But then he brings it. The Magen Avraham disagrees with it. So the ikar halach is that it's just water, and you don't need to do anything more than that, right? Fine. So that's that. And then you say hashayotza. Let's say you go to the bathroom, and then you forget to say hashayotza. And then again you go to the bathroom, and then you remember that you didn't say hashayotza the first time. You only have to make one hashayotza, right? Svardim hold, the Shulchan Aruch holds, I think Svardim don't do this anymore, but Svardim hold that you would make 2 hashayotza. It's a fascinating halacha to keep. Meaning they hold that there's tashlumin. Just like if you missed the tefillah, ba'inus, let's say you miss shachris, ba'inus, so then you daven 2 minchas, or if you miss mincha, you daven 2 mayrivs. So the Svardim hold that if you went to the bathroom and you forgot to say hashayotza, and then you say it again, they hold that you say 2 hashayotza. Right, because you do tashlumin for the other one.
What constitutes finishing and starting again? You break the plane of the doorway, washing your hands. Let's say you never leave the bathroom.
What do you mean?
Let's say you sit for a half hour. You take care of business in the first 3 minutes, and then half hour later you're still sitting and you go again. Does that constitute one?
No. So no, if you're not at it, you're not allowed to say hashayotza in the bathroom.
I understand.
Right?
So let's say you go to the bathroom, you take a shower, all in one. And then you go back to the bathroom again after the shower, but you never left the shower bathroom. So is that 2 hashayotzes? Is it 1?
No, you don't. It's only one. It's only one. One until you leave.
As soon as you leave the room.
Didn't leaving. Yeah. That's what I would think. Right? But yeah, so that's if you forget. Now,
maybe till you wash your hands.
You got to wash your hand, right? You got to wash your
maybe till you wash your hands, even if you didn't walk out of the bathroom yet. But let's say you washed your hands.
Right. Fair enough. But I don't know if parrots are getting into the next thing. The next halach is Misha Shoisa Sama Mashalsha, right? Somebody's going for what do you call it? Colonoscopy, right? And he drinks the sam that's going to make you have diarrhea. And he knows that he's going to have to go to the bathroom many times. So should he say hashayotza? He knows in 5 minutes he has to go back. So lo yivarach ad la'achar gemar. He doesn't make a bracha until he's finished, till he knows he's totally done, and then he makes hashayotza. As far as I know, that is not the minig of the Welt. And the minig is that when you're done going to the bathroom and you feel that you're done, then you make an hashayotza. Even though you know if somebody has a stomach ache and he knows he's probably gonna have to go back to the bathroom, but the bottom line is once he is done, then he's good to go. He said you're good to go to say hashayotza. And that's
But there's a difference between a stomach ache and taking a laxative. Stomach ache,
true,
you're not
but I don't think
guaranteed that you're going to go to the bathroom again at some point. But the laxative, you're going 25 times.
right. No, that's true. No, you have a good point. You have a good point. I never saw that the poskim are mechalik between that. So according to this Kitzur, you would only make asher yotza once, right? But then the other poskim say not like that. Say they disagree with the Kitzur and say you should make asher yotza after each time. I think that's the minig, but that gets into Peretz's thing. So what happens if you take the laxative, right? And you think, okay, so I'm not done yet, so you don't say asher yotza, and then you don't go to the bathroom for another hour. So now, did you miss the first time? So now you say two, according to Svardim, would you say two asher yotzas? I mean, like, what's the shear for right? What's the shear? So I don't know how you would say that. But I don't know. When people ask this question, I tell them that if they're done going to the bathroom, sometimes you just get so bored in the bathroom, you leave even though you feel that you're going to have to go back. So then I think it's pashut. You should not say asher yotza. Right? It's only when you you leave the bathroom, you feel like you're done. Okay, so then say asher yotza. Right? That's the way it would go. Okay, so that's the end of Siman Dalet. Siman A. Yeah, Ksiv. It says you should cover over what's coming out of you because Hashem goes in the Kerer Machanecha. And it also says that your camp should be Kadosh. And you shouldn't see any erva. So we learn out from this. Any place that Hashem goes with us, when we're Isaac in the Davar Shebekidusha, we're going Kriya Shema, Tefillah, Torah v'Chadayma, Tzarech li Yos HaMachane Kadosh. So the Machane has to be Kadosh. Shaloite Tzoya Megulasham. You can have no excrement open over there. V'Shaloi Yirah Davar Erva Keneged Panav Shal Adam HaKoyra Ayim Mispala. And that a person shouldn't see any sort of erva, any sort of private parts of any bodies that will make it in a place not roy to daven.
I don't understand what he's saying.
Why?
Isn't Malay Kalaritz Kavaidai? I mean, what does one thing have to do with the other?
You mean how do you answer this in Malay Kalaritz Kavaidai? No, but there's a special din, it seems, right? But that you know what you're saying. What about you machanecha kadosh?
I mean, I know there's a machlokes. I think the Nefesh HaChaim and the Balatanya about putting mezuzah, but putting a mezuzah on the bathroom, all that kind. What's. But in general, I mean, the Baruch Shalom is every place,
Right.
So
but
what's the difference?
I think the pshat is that in a makom that you're davening by, right? If it's a makom that you're having tefillah by, so then there's a special din not to have anything there.
Okay.
That's what I think, right? So meaning there's more chashivas there when it's time to daven, right? So let's see, says Sipes. Even to think and learning where there's tsaya there or urine or anything that smells bad, it's also until you cover it. You have to cover over things that come out of you. Or you have to be able to pour a revius of water into a certain amount of urine, meaning the amount of urine that normally comes out in one going to the bathroom. It doesn't make a difference if the urine was in the kli first and then you put the water, or if the water was in there and then the person went to the bathroom into the kli. And let's say it's what do you call it? A chamber pot, right? Chamber pot, right? So if it would be in that, so then it doesn't help water at all for that, because that chamber pot in itself is considered a what do you call it? So,
Well, that's a graph show Ray.
dirty, right? Yeah. So unfortunately, this is a question that comes up for people in the hospital, that they have the catheter, and the catheter leads to the plastic bucket on the side of the bed that fills with urine. So can you daven in there? Right? So the priest can say you are allowed to daven in there because it's completely enclosed, assuming it doesn't smell. Right? Assuming that it doesn't smell. It doesn't smell, so the priest can say that you are allowed to. You're allowed to do that. Right? Will it fine? That's all for Meiraglayim for one time. Well, Meiraglayim shall stay pa'amim, but Meiraglayim of 2 times, tzrichim shtei revius. Meaning for every amount of Meiraglayim, you need to pour another revius of water into it, which is very interesting because it's, how do you know? There's no, it should go with a ratio with the measurement of the urine, right? It's not like that. It's like, okay, I mean, sometimes you go to the bathroom a lot, sometimes you go to the bathroom a little, right? So for each going to the bathroom using a lashon naki, you would need, for each one, you would need another revius of mayim. Let's say the meiraglayim gets absorbed in the karka or the clothing. As if it's still wet, then you need to pour water. Once it dries, then you have no problem. Right? Fine. So that's yeah. Okay, so im yesh, so this halachas are not so negay, so we can go a little faster. Im yesh tzoya al basara, this maybe is more negay to what we were discussing before. Im yesh tzoya al basara, if he has excrement on his basar, afa pisha mechusa bebegadov, even though your clothing is covered, your clothing is covering it. Also, b'divrei kedusha, you're not allowed to say divrei kedusha. Shenemar, kol atzmoisai taimarna, Hashem michamoicha. Right, all my insides are going to. I don't know if it means insides or the main part of me. Anybody have art scroll Kitzur there? How do they touch it? Kol atzmoisai taimarna.
All my bones shall say bones. Hashem, who is like you.
Yeah, Hashem michamoicha, who's like you. So it means kol atzmoisai. Being in shayu kulam nikiyim, everything has to be naki. So if there's a little bit of tzoya, then even if it's covered by the clothing, that covering doesn't help, right? The body, the atzmaisai, the bones are not considered clean.
Well, we added in psachim now. It can't be everything because there's always in your intestines and stuff. Might not be anything on the pita bas, but inside you have waste.
Right, so that's what we said. You have to try and go to the bathroom to the best of your ability before you daven.
Okay.
Right? That's what you have to try and do, right?
Okay.
But there are makilim. The proper thing to do is to be machmir. Right, like we just learned. If you have a little bit of tzoya in the piyat tabas, even if it's covered, the kulei alma loy mahani, according to everybody, that doesn't help. Because in that place, the zuama, the dirt or the smell is a lot more. Right? So therefore, even the slightest amount is going to be a problem. You have the parentheses here? Adam has the parentheses? I have a parentheses in here, yeah? So, Misha yesh chali hatchayrim. Right? Meaning, hatchayrim is hemorrhoids. Right? Somebody has hemorrhoids, so he doesn't really say the pshat here. Ayin Magan Avram, Siman Ayin Vav, Sif Kot Eches, Shevi Tshuva Sarad Vaz Bezev, V'hi B'chel Gimel, Siman Shin Tez Vav, U'B'Soif Divrei Magan Avram, Shekasa, V'ein Le Takana, Hu Tai Soifer. It doesn't, see, because the Magan Avram, it seems like he's saying ain't like takana, like because the problem is he has hemorrhoids, it's going to cause bleeding, and it's very difficult for him to clean himself. So then, how could the guy ever daven? Right? How could the guy ever daven? Right? Ain't like takana. So that's a toy sofer. But tzarich is for ain't like tzarich takana. He doesn't need a takana. Not it's mamish the opposite. One is that it's ain't like takana, and he's saying no. It says ain't like tzarich takana. He doesn't need a takana. Ayin yad Ephraim v'ayin lekaman simin kuf samachay sif yud. We'll see that way weiter. Yeah. Fine. So that's tzrichin lizar. You have to be very careful.
Get a sled.
Shebechol makom sheyesh l'stapik shema yesham tzoya meraglayim. Any place that there's a suffix, whether you have tzoya meraglayim, lo yomer sham shum davar shebekdusha ad sheyivdok es hamakom. Now again, this is also a recipe for some serious OCD issues here, right? You have to be very careful that you have to be that you're masupik. If there's tzoya meraglayim, that you shouldn't say shum davar shebekdusha until you bite the makom. Okay, so now what do you do with this?
We didn't just say the same thing in the first 4 sifim.
No, because the first 4, what do you mean of this simon? That was talking about on the body.
No, but okay. I don't know. It seems like we just said the same thing. The whole
It seems like there's a couple of things that are repetitive. Yes, I agree. But here, I think he's referring to the room that you're in. That you have to make sure that the room that you're in doesn't have any dirt. Now the problem is you can't be mispal in a house if the upstairs has makom betunuf. Now what does that mean? Right? So that means if upstairs is something dirty, it smells.
A dirty diaper,
whatever it is, then downstairs you can't daven. Right? So now if it's covered, so then l'chayra that's okay. It would have to be something that's open, not something that's covered. Right? This is where you get into the whole thing with having a shul or sifrei Torah under a bathroom, I think. Right? Which clearly the minig in the Welt is to have, people have shuls in the basements. And then you have the shuls upstairs, right? The minig in Klal Yisrael, it's clear that that's what they do. Even though when you think about it, there could be, if people live there, so then there could be tzaya right upstairs.
But didn't we say that bathrooms nowadays don't really have a din of bathrooms that they were talking
Correct.
about then?
That's true. But what happens if there's a I'm saying a family lives up there and somebody puts a dirty diaper in the garbage, right? Like you were saying. So you put a dirty diaper in the garbage.
What about that bathroom outside the white shul base medrash? It always has a stink to it. It did at least.
The one right outside the small the weekday besmedrash.
Yeah. I would find that more problematic than a house minion with a clean bathroom.
I hear that. There is a din, Taka, that you're not supposed to have a bathroom open up into your shul.
It's not open up into the shul.
What do you say?
What about in your house? If somebody goes to the bathroom and then doesn't close the door after they leave, and the smell comes out of the bathroom.
Yeah, it's a problem. You shouldn't daven there. There's a. We're gonna get to it, but there is a problem with davening right outside a bathroom. Really got to put up some sort of mechitza or a wall in front of the bathroom. Should not open up straight into the bismerish. Rabban, you're muted.
Would that count as benching also?
Benching also, yeah. Benching is also dvar kedusha. What are you saying?
The airplanes. All the guys who mock me to make minyanim, that mamish davening
in the back.
It's a toilet. It's mamish davening in a toilet.
Yeah.
The mishagoyim. It stinks.
That's something I missed during Corona.
I know.
I missed that this past year.
I understand.
The smell is going away. I don't remember that smell.
It's unbelievable. The guys make a minyan and it stinks. There's 400 people use the toilet. You know what I mean?
Right. And there's usually a few of them back there.
It's crazy. Mamish crazy.
Right. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. You go down back there where it smells. Yeah, in the country, they manure. It's a good shiloh because it's Franklin. He's around the block, so he's like a mile away, and he gets the excrement from the duck farm. And we see the trucks go. They got these old trucks full of duck excrement, and when the wind blows, let me tell you, when the wind blows in a certain direction, especially on a hot day, you can't. I mean, you're sitting and learning outside over there, and then the smell is ayim v'noira. So I don't know. I remember I came up with that we could be mako, but I don't remember exactly how. Maybe it's because there it's a smell. You see, here we're really talking about where there's the actual stuff.
Well, that's in the airplane.
Or it's no.
It's my mission, the airplane.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. I will have to see though, but this I think till now we're talking about actual feces that are on. We're not just dealing with smell. We're talking about there's actual feces, then that's a problem. Right? What happens if there's feces there and it doesn't smell? Right? So that's a problem, right? That it's a problem. All right, it doesn't have some things have nothing to do with smell unless you're a kid that's very young. Let's see. That's the next paragraph. So Tinoik Shacherim b'yomov. How do you what word do you have there? Tinoik shawat? Anybody have she?
She'acherim.
You have a cherim?
I mean,
I don't know what the.
I have a she'acherim.
Yeah, that's what you have. Okay, so Tinoik shah. Okay. I hear it's batal b'shishim. Okay, I hear that. So anyway, so Tinoik shacherim b'yomov yicholim lechol kazayas mine dogon. So a tinoik that's old enough that he could eat a kazayas of grain, afilo ede tavshil, even if it's not straight grain, but it's through a cooked food, let's say oatmeal or something like that. Meaning it has to be enough that a gadol, in the time that a gadol would eat a considerable amount of bread. The cause of Sefer Migdal Oz Lagoin Moreno Harav Yavid Zal, Tanaka Shanasa Ben Shana. Essentially, it means a year old. That's the age you have to stay away from the waste. From a child, the Yavid says that it's from a year old. It says Katan Ben Shmoina Yamim. And it's toiv and it's yashar to also stay away from excrement of an 8-day-old. Right? Even though, meaning the point is that only excrement that gets created by real food is a problem. Excrement that's created not from real food, from milk or whatever it is, then that's not what the pasuk is referring to. I don't know how they know that exactly, right? But that's what it's saying. So again, the shear is that the kid could eat a kazayas of grain, even if it's mixed into cooked food, right? In the same amount of time that it would take a gadol to eat a kedei achilas pras. So we know the shear kedei achilas pras runs anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes to 9 to 10 minutes, right? So once a cotton can eat that little bit of grain in that amount of time, so then his tzoya is going to be a problem.
I was talking about something about smells, no, not just visual. Otherwise, what would be the difference?
What are you saying?
We just said that this is going based on the smell. It's not going based on anything else.
It's going based on.
Otherwise, what's the difference?
Well, one second. What happens if a kid's excrement smells from when he drinks formula?
I thought that is the difference. I thought that is a different halacha than what we're saying now, because it creates that smell.
Right, but that's not. I think that really the two go hand in hand. Now, when you hit to that age, then that's when the smell is that's when it should start smelling. No, when you eat that type of foods, I think.
Right, but the visual is still Darmos, no? Regardless.
Oh, you mean visual having nothing to do with anything? I don't know. We're gonna have to see.
It seems it would have to be the smell, not the visual, because
just the
otherwise,
smell. I mean, oh, that's what I didn't have what you say. I mean, you're saying that if you just sit there and see it, that could also be a problem.
it's not. He's saying, meaning it doesn't.
What do you mean? He's not referring.
Exactly. No. I think that's the point. The point is that when the child becomes a certain age, that's when it starts smelling, and that's when it'll be problematic. Otherwise, what's the difference? If it doesn't look any different, it's still something that's not appealing. So obviously, you're talking about something that.
Correct. Yeah, but that right. So that at that age, it's a problem. But Lamaisa, the Kitzur is saying that it's toiv v'yashar. It's interesting lashon, not just toiv. It's toiv v'yashar to stay away from Tayas Cotton ben Shemainad Yamim. Now, why not less than Shemainad Yamim? I have no idea. Or why would it be only 8 days? There's something having to do with the bris. I don't know that already. We need the Vertelach Zogers to come up with episode shot on that. Okay, I guess we'll stop here and fine. All right. Okay, have a good one.